nutrients as the broccoli and the cauliflower. Enough watercress. You have enough vervain. You have enough stinging nettle. You have enough dandelion. Many of the things that you see, if it is that you grow dandelion like you grow lettuce, the nutrients in dandelion will be 10 times more than what you get in the lettuce. What you have here, you have the original food. It's not the food that you have to say, boy, it's expensive to be like, no, what expensive? When I come to Dominica, my little sorrel I buy and my little spinach. Maybe buy a little eddos and one, two little things and cook. If I'm in St. Lucia or I'm in some other country, or even St. Lucia is more, I have to go to a health food shop. You buy a packet of quinoa for maybe $40. That's a grain, which has similar nutritional value with the, what you call the amaranth for the zebi that you have here, the spinach. So you don't really have to go out expensive, you know. You have to utilize what it is that you have here. Because if it is that it was capable of sustaining people, it's so close people will still have in a book. It's not a gene. Huh? That's what they used to eat scavengers. And they were able to live to 125. Now, if it is that you take out the scavengers from the diet, you take out the zanji, you take out all this squab and all them things, and you give them even a higher level of food, don't you think that the same 125-year-olds could live to 180, 90, 200? They can. So if it is that we examine what these people have done, adopt whatever that it is that we could adopt, and then add on to it to make it better. Because in that time, people were really struggling. They had to use things to make do. Right? That is why you're comfortable in looking overweight, because I bell. If you're skinny now, they say you're sick. You have AIDS, you know. All right, now, even as we are, normally we go into the whole aspect. I'm not going to stay into that too much. Normally we understand that the cell, we say that the cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of the human anatomy. Meaning that every organ, what's an organ? It's a part of the body, a functional part of the body. An organ, what's an organism? Okay, well, it's a being made up of organs, an organism. An organ is basically cells coming together to form a particular type of tissue, not toilet paper. And that could be your muscles, your skin, your liver, your heart, your eyes. All these are basically organs. Your kidneys, and all of these organs are made up of different types of tissue. And they are made up of, each tissue is made up of different type of cells. So if you break down an organism, you break down a human being, the lowest functional level you're going to get. If you have to break down somebody until you break them down until the smallest functional structure, that would be the cell. Now, the cell is what you have to understand disease. If you are going to be able to understand the wall, you have to know what makes up the wall. The wall is not just a wall, it has paint, it has blocks, it has all type of things. We have to understand that. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail into that, but even in the disease called fibroids, it's just one cell in the womb of the woman or in the muscle of the woman that goes bad and begins to multiply and never die. That's what you call a tumor. It's just one cell. That cell will make 2 cells, then 4 cells, then 8 cells, and it never dies. Whereas the normal cell of the womb would have lived for maybe, I'm just saying, don't put me on that, you know. Let's say it lives for 10 days. After 10 days, that cell would naturally just die off, and new cells actually comes in. That's called apoptosis. But if the cell refuses to die and keeps on living, that's what you call a tumor. That's what you call cancer. Right? Cells that refuse to die and they grow what you call uncontrollably. So when you understand the cell, what the cell is supposed to be like, what is it that could make a cell begin to grow uncontrollably? What is it that could make a cell, even your x-rays, some people like an MRI, you know. They feel good when they go for, well, I just went for my MRI. It's radiation. The x-rays is radiation. Even the ultrasound, that's supposed to be the safest, is dangerous for the child. These things are dangerous. They are pushing rays, X-rays and UV rays and all types of rays through your structure to find out what is happening. When you could look at somebody's skin, their eyes, how they look, when they speak. Some people, they're full of mucus, you know, in the system, and they're speaking to you. Yes, please, Kailash, every time they have to clear the throat, they say, boy, you have enough mucus, you know. How you know? Right? Because it has become so obvious for you. Some people speak in their nose. It's so obvious for you that you have become accustomed. So you live with that. So you live with diabetes, get up in the morning, choke, take your injection, and 12 o'clock, you know? And every day you get like a machine, it's juke. Juke. Just for you to be able to eat some food. And still, after you juking yourself every day, the food you're going to eat is still going to be rubbish. Diabetics are the most stubborn people. Not all right, but they're very stubborn. Do what you're supposed to do when your diabetes will be cured. If you're still a diabetic, right, it's because you have some level of stubbornness in diabetes. There are some things you cannot drop. Diabetes can be reversed. It's a fact. Right now, you know what the doctors say? Right? They say, as we say, just do a bypass surgery, yeah? Just cut off the duodenum, a part of the small intestines, cut out a piece of it, then just join the ileum straight to your stomach. So the cholesterol is not absorbed. So the food just goes floops and it comes out quicker. So with lower cholesterol, that means that your physical structure begins to consume the stored up cholesterol in your cells that give you diabetes in the first place. And then you could get off insulin. I mean, you could just go and Google it and you can see the stories of many people. Because right now they are advertising bypass surgeries, gastric bypass surgeries, instead even of using Lipitor as a long-term means of controlling high cholesterol. So you could eat your pork and eat your beef and eat your thing. Well, okay, man, just cut out a piece of your intestines and that's it. But these people, because the duodenum is not just for cholesterol. That's where the pancreas secretes all its enzymes. So these people normally look flat and they look shabby and their face look pale because they look unhuman. But they claim that this reverses diabetes. How? Because it brings down the cholesterol. So I mean, if we know that all you have to do is bring down the cholesterol, and you get your cholesterol from only animal products, your pork, your beef, your chicken, your eggs, your lamb, your fish. Fish have a lot of cholesterol. Your nickel, love fish. That's why you have so much arthritis here. Too much protein. I see a sign, if you want to live longer, if you want to be healthy, eat fish. They lie. Oh, please, Kailash, I love fish. You love no fish. You love the flesh of the fish. If you love the fish, you leave the fish in the sea. Laughing at that? Just now you're going to have nightmares, you know. You're going to see fishes and fowls and cows. Ma, you eat me. You eat me. No, seriously. A time is coming. A time is serious. It's no joke. You don't have to laugh at that. The time is coming where it's not. You won't just have to be concerned about your health. You'd have to be concerned about the life of other beings, the life of other animals.